Hope you're doing well. Go ahead and get out your grammar books and let's go over your grammar exercises. You were to have done 132 to 138 for today. So let's go over the answers and then you can send to me in a message how many you missed so I can give you a grade on that, okay? So page 60, exercise 132, you're using modifiers. You're supposed to underline the correct modifier in parentheses. So number one should have been Sam drives more carefully because you're just comparing two. Number two should have been the worst with a T thing about lying. Number three, Methuselah lived longer than his son. Number four, of all the boys in our class, Logan runs fastest because you're comparing him to all the boys. So you need to use the superlative fastest. Number five, Mount Everest is higher than any other mountain. Number six, Austin has done better in school. Number seven, I do not like that cheese. It tastes too sweet. Number eight, the budget has scarcely enough money. You don't want to say hasn't and scarcely because NT is a negative and scarcely is a negative. So that would be a double negative. Number nine should be was the most difficult. And number 10 should be we could not find a parking place anywhere. Okay, 10 points possible in that one. Let's look at the next one, exercise 133 again with modifiers. Number one, I find Robert Frost's poetry more enjoyable than Sandberg's. It should be possessive, Sandberg apostrophe S. Number two, I made fewer errors in algebra than anyone else in his class. It can't just be than anyone in his class, or then he makes fewer errors than himself, which that's not possible. Number three, since Luke has hardly enough money to pay for the tickets, he says he can't buy any flowers for Jenna. So two things in that one. Number four, of the two runners, Jacob ran farther in 12 minutes because we're only comparing two. Number five, she calls me more often than Kelly. You should have said than she calls Kelly, or you could have said more often than Kelly does. I would take either way. And number six was correct. Okay, 7 points possible in that one. All right, let's look at exercise 134. Number one should be that watch lying on the counter is the most expensive one in the store. You need to complete the comparison. So you need to change lane to line and complete the comparison. Number two, the new smaller engine, so cross out more, was scarcely able, not wasn't scarcely, was scarcely able to raise the helicopter into the air. Number three, few of the students were surprised when we juniors won the contest. Number four, Phil quickly, seen should be saw, the economics was, not were. Number five, if Dave had prepared, not would have, if Dave had prepared better, so cross out more, he could have presented a more complete report. Number six, each one of the students is supposed, because each is singular, each is supposed to return his report card, not there, has to stay singular. Number seven, Officer Matlick, along with several other witnesses, has, because the subject is Officer Matlick, which is singular, has already given his testimony. Number eight, neither of the farmers has, because neither is singular, neither has planted his winter rye. Number nine, I appreciate your coming. Remember to use possessive before a gerund. You're coming to this meeting tonight. Everyone will get to share how he got interested because everyone is the antecedent, singular, so it needs to be he got interested, not they. Number 10, he is one of the coaches who consider the best passer to be me. And number 11, the team came to the Olympics as defending champions, but we Americans defeated them. Okay, 22 possible points in that one there. Exercise 135, identifying these sentences as loose and periodic. If you don't remember loose and periodic, you should have gone back and looked at your handbook in section 25. Okay, but really quickly, the difference between loose and periodic sentences. A loose sentence is one that could be grammatically complete at some point before the period. Okay, but a periodic sentence is not complete. The clause is not completed or finished until the actual end of the sentence. So you have to go all the way to the period to actually get to finish the independent clause. Okay, so that's the difference. So number 1 was loose. Number 2 was periodic. I'll skip over exercise 136. Exercise 137, you should have made some changes to make these sentences more emphatic. Again, if you didn't know what I was asking for, you should have looked at your handbook at section 25, where it talks about making your sentences more emphatic. Number 1, instead of saying we were visited last week by my Aunt Julia, we should make it passive, or I'm sorry, we should make it active voice. So it should say, my Aunt Julia visited us last week. Number 2, I've not seen such a lovely day in many months. We could switch that around and say, such a lovely day I have not seen in many months. Number 3, we could say, in Dallas, Texas, on November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So I change it from a loose sentence to a periodic. We have to go all the way to the period. Number 4, I should switch it to say, shortly before his death, Tchaikovsky completed his last and greatest symphony, the Pathétique. So it should be changed to active voice. Again, number 5, to estimate the losses caused by the earthquake would be difficult indeed. So I'm changing it from loose to periodic. Okay, so for that one, exercise 137, I'm not going to count that one in the points today, so don't worry about that. And the same with exercise 138. But I would like you to check it first and check it, although, and see how you did. So for number 1, should have said his large house was filled with modern conveniences. Number 2, the audience was confused by the sociologist's meandering speech. Number 3, the whole family fully approved of the new blue car. Number 4, the enigma bewildered the young detective. Number 5, first, that I once met the accused criminal has no significance whatsoever. Number 6, because these two sets of instructions conflict, I need to ask which set should be used. Number 7, when investigating a case, the police should deal with facts only, not theories. And number 8, Mrs. Thompson, a widow, had all this time preserved one of her wedding gifts, an antique music box which repeatedly played a quaint melody. All right, and so for next week, then you need to do exercises 139 to 143. So exercises 139 to 143, that's over capitalization, and then reviewing some agreement and usage and modifiers, and then you will be having a test next Wednesday. So make sure those exercises are done. Then you're ready for the test. Don't forget your research paper is due April 20th. Don't forget also you will have a vocabulary spelling quiz next Tuesday. Also, don't forget to be reading Silas Marner, chapters 1 through 4. Be ready for a quiz over that on Monday. And then we will be doing a live classroom streaming on Monday so that we can discuss Silas Marner. So make sure that you are ready to do that at 11 o'clock on Monday. And I will send you an invitation so you can join the live session there. And we will do that on Monday. So make sure you're reading Silas Marner because you need to take the quiz before we have our session on Monday at 11. All right, so go ahead and send me how many you missed on your grammar today. And make sure also that you're watching your literature videos. I notice that not everybody is watching them because I see how many views they get. Let me just really encourage you to make sure that you're watching those videos because there will be things in those literature videos that will be popping up on the test. And they may or may not have been in the slides. They may or may not be on a study guide, things that I discuss as we read through the poems. So you want to make sure that you do watch those videos. All right, and I will see you next time.